Welcome to NCIX Tech Tips. What does apex mean? Apex means at the peak, at the top of their game. And these are some gaming keyboards from Steelseries, the Apex and the Apex Raw, that when it comes to mechanical gaming keyboards, aim to deliver pretty much all the features you need in the case of the Raw, and all the features you could want in the case of the full-fledged Apex. Now these keyboards have some similarities. In fact, they are very similar, but I'm going to start with the things about them that are the functional bits. So this is the Apex Raw. It has a white backlight, pure white, just white. It has 5 macro keys along the left-hand side, each with 2 layers of functionality, as well as 12 macro keys up at the top, each with 2 layers of functionality. You can have an unlimited number of profiles within the SteelSeries engine. But let's have a look at what can potentially make you a better gamer about this product, because lots of gaming products have like a sponsored gamer that endorses it or whatever else, but they don't necessarily have features that can make you better at gaming. So one of the ones that I think is coolest about this keyboard is the fact that the macro keys up here, the F keys and the number keys, are all very differently placed and feel differently when you're reaching up for them. And by pressing a macro key, swiping down to an F key, or even swiping all the way down to a number key, you can execute a macro or even quick combinations of 1, 2, or 3 actions very easily. Now the entire keyboard can be remapped, so if you did want to bind different functionality to all these different keys up there, you can do that too. Next up is the jumbo spacebar, as I like to call it. So this is a wider spacebar than what you'll typically see, and this allows you to not only have a comfortable stance when you are typing on the keyboard, but also in a more relaxed gaming position, you can lay your thumb across the spacebar for maximum comfort. Now, the next part, the quick response membrane low profile keys. Now, if you guys have watched any video I've ever made before, you probably know I personally prefer mechanical keys. I do, a lot of people do. Not everyone does, and as shocked as Slick may have been when I told him that, he was like, really? No, some people do prefer membrane keys, and you are much better off with a good membrane keyboard than you are with a mediocre membrane keyboard. For example, the Logitech G15 Gen 1, in my personal opinion, is one of the best membrane keyboards that I've ever encountered. This one aims to give you better responsiveness than most membrane keyboards by having the keys snap back into position more quickly. This allows you to execute repeated actions more effectively and in a more rapid fire succession. All right, so that was the raw one. Now let's have a look at the cooked one. No, it doesn't say cooked on the keyboard itself, but not to worry. The regular Apex, I would go as far as to say, doesn't really have that much in terms of features over the regular Apex Raw that will actually make you a better gamer. It's more about the bells and whistles with this one. So yes, having 2 banks of macro keys along the left-hand side is probably better. Having 4 different layers of functionality, which, and this is cool, you can have it indicated which one you have active by different colors in different zones all over the keyboard. That's cool too. But that same spacebar, that same raised macro keys along the top, and actually, they both have a tactile bump on the W key that allows you to find your way back to it. Both of the keyboards have that functionality. Now the Apex has a built-in USB hub. It also has a braided cable, whereas the Apex Raw does not. But other than that, yeah, it's fully reprogrammable. It's got diagonal arrow keys, just like the Apex Raw over here, but it's all about the lighting zones with this one. So the bling bling is pretty cool. You've got lighting zone here. You have a lighting zone here. You have a lighting zone here for all your typing keys. And finally, you have a lighting zone over here with your insert, delete, number pad, all that cool stuff, as well as your dedicated media keys, which again, versus the Apex Raw, which doesn't have the dedicated media keys, don't make you a better gamer, but they definitely are handy, if nothing else. The SteelSeries logo and these lighting effects on the side of the keyboard are your 5th and final lighting zone, giving you any number of different combinations because each of those zones is capable of up to 16.8 millions of different colors. So which of these keyboards is for you? There's no box inside it. That wasn't supposed to happen. So which of these keyboards is for you? If you prefer a mechanical keyboard, then neither of them. If you want a membrane keyboard, you want something that is low profile, and there are gamers who prefer this, then you have to decide. Do you want the functionality of the Apex Raw, or do you want the flair of the Apex with, well, it does have some additional functionality as well. I mean, being able to tell at a glance based on the colors on the keys, you know, you can turn the whole thing red when you have your attacker profile, or blue when you have your defender profile loaded in terms of the layers at the top left. I mean, this is all cool stuff, but it seems sort of not quite like that raw functionality that you need. So that's how you make the decision. Yeah, it's a bit of a difference in price, about a $30 delta, so it's up to you whether the additional lighting options and buttons and media control keys are worth it. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. So I thank you for watching this episode of NCIX Tech Tips. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this from ncix.com.